The night before my wedding, I couldn't sleep. I was too excited, too happy, too in love. So I did something silly. I drove to the hotel where Kevin was staying. The groom isn't supposed to see the bride before the wedding, but I just wanted to see his face, just for a minute. I used the spare key he had given me. I tiptoed down the hallway to his room, planning to surprise him. I was the one who got surprised. When I opened that door, I saw my fiancé in bed with another woman, her brown skin, her curly hair spread across his pillow, her clothes scattered on the floor next to the wedding gift bags, and then she turned around. It was my sister, my little sister Brianna, the maid of honor, the girl I had protected my entire life, the person I trusted more than anyone in the world. She looked at me, Kevin looked at me, and nobody said a word. The worst part? She didn't even look sorry. She looked relieved, like she had been waiting for this moment. That was 8 years ago. Yesterday, my sister came to my house, the house I bought with cash, the house with 6 bedrooms and a pool. The house in the neighborhood she used to say was only for white people. She didn't come to visit. She came to clean. Because my sister, the one who stole my fiancé, who ruined my wedding, who tore my family apart, now works for the cleaning service I hire. And she didn't know it was my house until she showed up at the door. The look on her face when she saw me, I will never forget it as long as I live. Before I tell you what happened next, before I explain how I went from crying on the bathroom floor in a wedding dress to owning a multi-million-dollar real estate company, I need you to do something. Drop a comment below. Have you ever been betrayed by a sibling? Someone who was supposed to love you unconditionally? This story is for you, and trust me, the ending is going to shock you. My name is Naomi. I'm 33 years old. I'm the founder and CEO of Crown Properties, one of the fastest-growing real estate investment companies in Georgia. We buy, renovate, and sell homes. We also manage rental properties for other investors. Last year alone, we flipped 47 houses and generated over $8 million in revenue. I have a team of 23 people who work for me. I have a husband who adores me. I have a 4-year-old daughter who thinks I'm a superhero. And I have a sister who scrubs my toilets for $11 an hour. I didn't plan it that way. I didn't hire that cleaning service because I knew she worked there. I didn't orchestrate some elaborate revenge scheme. Life just delivered her to my doorstep. Call it karma. Call it God. Call it the universe having a sense of humor. But before you think this is a story about revenge, let me tell you, it's not. This is a story about what happens when you let go of the people who hurt you and start building something for yourself. The revenge? That was just a bonus. To understand what happened, you need to understand my relationship with Brianna. She's 2 years younger than me. Growing up, she was the baby, the pretty one, the favorite. I'm not saying that to be bitter. I'm saying it because it's the truth. My mother made it clear from the beginning that Brianna was special. Brianna got the bigger room. Brianna got the newer clothes. Brianna got the praise for things I worked twice as hard to achieve. Naomi is the responsible one, my mother would say. But Brianna is going to do something special with her life. I never resented Brianna for it. It wasn't her fault our mother played favorites. And honestly, I loved my sister. I protected her. I helped her with homework. I covered for her when she snuck out at night. I was her biggest cheerleader. I thought she felt the same way about me. I was wrong. What I didn't realize was that Brianna had been competing with me her entire life, and she didn't just want to win. She wanted to take everything I had. Looking back now, I can see the signs. The way she would flirt with my boyfriends in high school. The way she accidentally told my college crush that I wasn't interested. The way she always had to one-up me at family events. But I explained it all away. She was young, she was insecure, she didn't mean it. Even when she showed a little too much interest in Kevin, my fiancé, the man I was going to marry, I told myself I was being paranoid. She's your sister, I said to myself. She would never. Famous last words. The truth is, Brianna had been waiting for the perfect moment to destroy me, and she found it the night before my wedding. Let me take you back to the beginning. Let me show you how I met Kevin, how I fell in love, and how my own sister burned my life to the ground. I met Kevin at a friend's birthday party when I was 23 years old. He was 25, tall, charming, with a smile that made me forget how to form sentences. He walked up to me at the bar and said, "I'm not good at pickup lines, so I'm just going to tell you the truth. I saw you from across the room and I had to meet you. I'm Kevin." It was simple. It was direct. It was exactly what I needed. We talked for 3 hours that night. We closed down the bar and then sat in his car talking until sunrise. By the time the sun came up, I knew this was different. This was real. Kevin was a financial analyst at a bank. Stable job, good salary, even better ambitions. He talked about wanting to invest in real estate, wanting to build wealth, wanting to create something that would last. I was working as a property manager at the time, just starting to learn the business. We bonded over our dreams, over our plans, over our vision for the future. Within a month, we were inseparable. Within a year, we were living together. Within 2 years, he proposed. It was the happiest moment of my life. I said yes before he even finished the question. I introduced Kevin to my family about 3 months into our relationship. Mama loved him immediately. He was polite, successful, and he complimented her cooking 3 times. But it was Brianna's reaction that stuck with me. She walked into the room and stopped. Just stopped. Her eyes went wide. She looked at Kevin like she was seeing a celebrity. "This is your boyfriend?" she asked, her voice a little too high. "Wow, you did good, sis." She hugged him a little too long, laughed a little too hard at his jokes, found excuses to touch his arm during dinner. I noticed. Of course I noticed, but I told myself it was nothing. Brianna was like that with everyone. She was just being friendly. Kevin didn't seem to notice at all. Or if he did, he didn't show it. He held my hand under the table and told my mother he was going to marry me someday. I believed him. I believed everything. Kevin proposed on our 2-year anniversary. We were at the restaurant where we had our first official date. He had arranged for the waiter to bring out the ring with dessert. When I saw that box, I burst into tears before he even opened it. "Yes," I said, laughing and crying at the same time. "Yes, yes, yes." The whole restaurant applauded. Kevin slipped the ring on my finger. It was perfect. He was perfect. Life was perfect. I called my family immediately. Mama screamed so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. Daddy said he was proud of me, and Brianna was quiet. "That's great, sis," she said flatly. "I'm happy for you." She didn't sound happy, but I was too excited to care. I was getting married. I was going to be Mrs. Kevin Williams. Nothing could bring me down. Famous. Last. Words. I asked Brianna to be my maid of honor. It wasn't even a question. She was my sister, my only sister. Of course, she would stand beside me on the most important day of my life. "I'd love to," she said. But there was something in her eyes, something I chose to ignore. The wedding planning was stressful. Brianna was supposed to help, but she kept missing meetings with vendors. She forgot to order the bridesmaid dresses on time. She showed up late to my bridal shower, and she spent a lot of time texting during our planning sessions. Whenever I asked who she was talking to, she'd say, "Just a guy, nobody serious." I didn't think anything of it. Meanwhile, Kevin started working late more often. He seemed distracted. He said it was work stress, a big project at the bank. I believed him. 1 week before the wedding, I came home early and found Kevin and Brianna sitting on my couch, laughing at something on his phone. They jumped apart when I walked in. "We were just looking at funny videos," Brianna said quickly. "Planning a surprise for you." I wanted to believe them, so I did. God, I was so stupid. The rehearsal dinner was perfect. Our families mingled, toasts were made. Kevin squeezed my hand and whispered, "This time tomorrow, you'll be my wife." I floated through the evening on a cloud of happiness. After the dinner, the women went back to my parents' house for a mini bachelorette party. Nothing wild, just champagne, silly games, and wedding talk. Brianna seemed quieter than usual, but I figured she was just tired. At midnight, everyone went to bed. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't. I was too excited, so I decided to sneak out, just to see Kevin one more time. One last moment together before we became husband and wife. I drove to his hotel. I used the spare key he'd given me in case of emergencies. I walked down the hallway, my heart full of love. I opened the door, and my whole world collapsed. They were in bed together, my fiancé and my sister, the sheets tangled around them, their clothes on the floor. When Brianna turned around and saw me, she didn't scream. She didn't apologize. She didn't cry. She smiled. "I guess you found out," she said. Surprise. I don't remember what I said. I don't remember if I screamed or cried or both. I just remember the room spinning, my chest tightening, my legs giving out. I ended up on the floor of that hotel room, my wedding dress hanging in the closet 3 feet away from me, watching my sister climb out of my fiancé's bed. Kevin tried to speak. "Naomi, I can explain." "Explain what?" My voice didn't even sound like mine. "Explain how you're sleeping with my sister the night before our wedding." "It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think," I was screaming now. "How long? How long?" Brianna answered before he could, casually, like she was telling me what she had for dinner. "About 6 months. Since your engagement party, actually. Remember when the power went out and we were looking for candles?" She laughed. She actually laughed. "We weren't looking for candles, sis. 6 months. They had been sneaking around for 6 months. While I planned my wedding. While I dreamed about my future. While I trusted them completely." I looked at my sister, this person I had loved and protected my entire life, and I didn't recognize her. "Why?" I whispered. "Why would you do this?" Brianna shrugged. Shrugged, like I had asked her why she chose a salad for lunch. "Because I wanted him," she said simply, "and I always get what I want. He was going to be my husband, and now he won't be." She started gathering her clothes. "Look, Naomi, I'm sorry you had to find out this way. I thought we'd be more careful. But honestly, this is for the best. Kevin doesn't love you. He settled for you because I wasn't available. Now I am." I looked at Kevin. He wouldn't meet my eyes. "Is that true?" I asked him. "Did you settle for me?" He didn't answer. His silence said everything. Brianna continued. "You should thank me, really. I saved you from a marriage based on a lie. Now you can find someone who actually wants you, if anyone does." She walked past me like I was furniture. At the door, she paused. "Don't bother coming to Christmas this year. We're going to announce our relationship to the family. It might be awkward for you." And she left. She left me there on the floor of that hotel room, surrounded by the wreckage of my entire life. I had to cancel my own wedding. The morning of what was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, I called every guest and told them not to come. I called the venue, the caterer, the florist, the DJ. I ate thousands of dollars in cancellation fees for a wedding that would never happen. My parents showed up at my apartment demanding answers. When I told them what happened, that Kevin and Brianna had been having an affair for 6 months, my mother's reaction destroyed me. "Are you sure?" she asked. "Are you sure you didn't misunderstand something?" "I walked in on them, Mama. They were in bed together." "Well," she hesitated. "Maybe if you had been more attentive to Kevin. Men have needs, Naomi. Maybe if you had." "Are you blaming me?" "I'm just saying your sister wouldn't do something like this without a reason. Maybe you pushed Kevin away." I stared at my mother in disbelief. Even now, even after everything, she was defending Brianna. She was finding a way to make this my fault. My father said nothing. He just looked at the floor. That was the day I lost my family. Not just my sister, my entire family. The next few weeks were the darkest of my life. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't stop replaying every moment of the past 6 months, looking for signs I had missed, hating myself for being so blind. I lost 15 pounds. I stopped answering my phone. I called in sick to work so many times they eventually suggested I take a leave of absence. One night, I was lying on my bathroom floor. I had been crying so hard I couldn't make it to my bed. And I thought about giving up. Not in a specific way, but just letting go, sinking into the darkness and never coming back up. That's when my phone rang. It was Aunt Lorraine, my mother's sister, the one family member who had called me not to gossip but to check on me. "Baby girl," she said, "I'm coming over. Don't argue. I'll be there in 20 minutes." She showed up with soup, blankets, and a look of fierce determination. "I'm not going to tell you it's going to be okay," she said, "because right now, it's not okay. But I am going to tell you this. You are not going to let those two destroy you. You hear me? You are better than both of them combined, and you are going to prove it." That night, Aunt Lorraine slept on my couch, and she stayed for a whole week. Aunt Lorraine was 62 years old and had survived more than most people could imagine. A bad marriage, a messy divorce, breast cancer, the death of her only son in a car accident. She knew about loss. She knew about betrayal. And she knew about rebuilding. "Here's what you're going to do," she said over coffee one morning. "You're going to cry when you need to cry. You're going to scream when you need to scream. And then you're going to get up and build something so magnificent that those two will choke on their regret." "I don't know how," I admitted. "I don't know where to start." "You start with what you know. You're good with properties, right? You've been managing buildings for years. Why are you making money for someone else when you could be making it for yourself?" It was so simple when she said it. So obvious. "I don't have the capital," I said. "I don't have the knowledge to run my own business." "You have $5,000 in savings. I know because you told me. And you have a brain. That's more than a lot of successful people started with." She leaned forward. "Your sister took your man. Don't let her take your future too." I went back to work the next week, but not to my old job. I quit. Instead, I took my $5,000 and enrolled in every real estate course I could find. I got my license. I studied investing strategies late into the night. I networked with everyone in the industry who would talk to me. I lived on rice and beans. I moved into a tiny studio apartment to save money. I sold my engagement ring, the one Kevin had given me, and used the money to buy my first property. It was a dump, a foreclosed house in a rough neighborhood that nobody else wanted. It had mold, broken windows, and a family of raccoons living in the attic. But it was mine. I learned to do repairs myself. I watched YouTube tutorials on plumbing and electrical work. I spent weekends covered in paint and sawdust, transforming that dump into something livable. 3 months later, I sold it for a $22,000 profit. It wasn't millions. It wasn't even enough to change my life dramatically. But it was proof. Proof that I could do this. Proof that I didn't need Kevin or my family or anyone else. I took that $22,000 and bought 2 more properties. And then I did it again. And again. And again. By year 2, I had flipped 12 houses and cleared almost $200,000 in profit. By year 3, I hired my first employee. By year 4, I had a team of 5 and a reputation as someone who could transform any property. I named my company Crown Properties because I wanted to remind myself every day that I was royalty, that I deserved to be treated like a queen even if my own family had treated me like garbage. The business grew faster than I could have imagined. I started getting calls from investors who wanted to partner with me. I expanded from flipping to rentals, building passive income streams that would pay me whether I worked or not. By year 5, Crown Properties was generating over $2 million annually. By year 7, we hit $5 million. By year 8, this year, we crossed $8 million. I bought my dream house, 6 bedrooms, a pool, a home office with floor-to-ceiling windows. The kind of house I used to drive past and wonder who lived there. Now I was the one living there, and somewhere along the way, I met Daniel. Daniel came into my life when I wasn't looking for anyone. I had sworn off relationships. I had convinced myself that I was better off alone, that trusting someone again would only lead to pain. But Daniel was different. We met at a real estate conference. He was an architect, specializing in sustainable design. He approached me after my panel discussion to tell me he admired my work. "I've been following Crown Properties," he said. "You're doing something special. Can I buy you coffee and pick your brain?" I almost said no, but something about his smile, genuine, with no hidden agenda, made me say yes. Coffee turned into dinner. Dinner turned into more dinners. Slowly, Carefully, I let him in. Daniel never tried to rush me. He understood I had been hurt. He gave me space when I needed it, and support when I asked for it. He didn't try to complete me. He just wanted to walk beside me. We got married on a beach in Jamaica. Small ceremony, just 30 people. No maid of honor because I didn't need one. My mother wasn't invited. Neither was Brianna. Daniel and I have been married for 3 years now. We have a daughter named Leah, who is 4 years old and the absolute light of my life. I thought I knew what happiness was when I was with Kevin. I was wrong. What I have now, this is real happiness. I kept track of Brianna over the years, not obsessively, but enough to know what was happening. She and Kevin got married about 6 months after they destroyed my life. My mother threw them a big wedding, the wedding I should have had. For a while, they seemed happy. They posted pictures on social media, vacations, date nights, couple selfies with hashtags about finding the one. But by year 2, the posts stopped. By year 3, I heard through Aunt Lorraine that they were having problems. Kevin had cheated on Brianna with a coworker. Surprise, surprise. A man who cheats with you will eventually cheat on you. They tried to work it out. Brianna got pregnant, hoping a baby would save the marriage. It didn't. Kevin left her when their daughter was 8 months old. Brianna was left alone. No husband, no job. She had never worked because Kevin supported her. No savings because Kevin had controlled the money and left her with nothing in the divorce. She had to move back in with our mother. She had to go on assistance. She had to start working for the first time in her life, at age 30, with no skills and no experience. The only job she could find was with a cleaning service, $11 an hour, scrubbing other people's toilets. And yesterday, she showed up at my house. I didn't plan it. I need you to understand that. When I hired Sparkle Clean Services to deep clean my house, I had no idea Brianna worked there. I just picked a company with good reviews and reasonable prices. The morning of the cleaning, I was working from home. I heard the doorbell ring and went to answer it, expecting a stranger. But when I opened that door, I saw a face I hadn't seen in 8 years. Brianna was standing on my porch in a blue cleaning uniform, holding a bucket of supplies. She looked older, tired. The confidence she had always worn like armor was gone. She looked at me. Then she looked at the house. Then she looked back at me. And I watched her face crumble as she realized whose house she was about to clean. "Naomi?" she whispered. "Hello, Brianna," I said. "I believe you're here to clean my house." She stood frozen. Her hands were shaking. I could see her mind racing, trying to process the situation. Behind her, her coworker called out, "Everything okay? We've got a big house here." Brianna didn't answer. She was still staring at me, at my designer clothes, at my diamond ring, at the mansion stretching out behind me. And for the first time in her life, my little sister had nothing to say. I stepped aside and gestured for them to come in. "Please," I said calmly. "The house isn't going to clean itself." Brianna's coworker walked in without hesitation, immediately commenting on how beautiful the foyer was. But Brianna moved like she was walking through quicksand. She looked around at the marble floors, the crystal chandelier, the artwork on the walls, the grand staircase leading up to the second floor. "This is your house?" she asked, her voice barely audible. "Yes, my husband and I bought it last year." I smiled. "Would you like a tour before you start, so you know where everything is?" I led them through the house, the gourmet kitchen, the home theater, the master bedroom with its spa bathroom, the nursery where Leah was napping. With every room, I watched Brianna's face fall further. Every room was a reminder of everything she had lost, everything I had gained. Was I enjoying it? I'm not proud to say it, but yes, a little. After 8 years of wondering if karma would ever catch up to her, here it was, in my house, wearing a cleaning uniform, about to scrub my floors. I went back to my home office while they cleaned. I had work to do, contracts to review, emails to answer, but I couldn't concentrate. I kept listening to the sounds of them working. Vacuum cleaners, spraying bottles, Brianna's coworker chattering away while Brianna remained silent. About an hour in, I heard footsteps outside my office. Brianna appeared in the doorway, holding a mop. "I'm supposed to clean this room," she said quietly. "Should I come back later?" I leaned back in my chair. "No. Come in. You can work around me." She hesitated, then entered. She started mopping the floor on the far side of the room, trying to stay as far from me as possible. The silence was heavy, suffocating. Finally, I spoke. "So, how have you been?" She flinched like I had thrown something at her. "Fine," she mumbled. "Really? Because I heard Kevin left you. I heard you're living with Mama again. I heard you're raising a daughter alone." I paused. "Doesn't sound fine to me." She stopped mopping. Her back was to me, but I could see her shoulders trembling. "What do you want me to say?" she asked. "I don't know. Maybe start with an apology?" She turned around slowly. Her eyes were wet. "Would it matter?" she asked. "Would an apology change anything?" "I don't know. I've been waiting 8 years to find out. You changed your number. You blocked me on everything. You made it clear you wanted nothing to do with me. You slept with my fiancé the night before my wedding. What did you expect? A thank you card? I expected you to eventually forgive me. We're sisters." I stood up from my desk. "No, we were sisters. Sisters don't do what you did. Sisters don't destroy each other for fun. It wasn't for fun. Then what was it for? Tell me. Help me understand why you would do that to me." She was crying now. The tears she should have cried 8 years ago. "I was jealous," she whispered. "I was always jealous of you. You were the smart one, the successful one. You had everything figured out. And then you had Kevin, this perfect man who adored you, and I couldn't stand it. So you took him. I thought if I had what you had, I would finally be happy. I thought Kevin was the answer. And how did that work out for you?" She looked at the floor. "He cheated on me too. 3 times that I know of. He left me with nothing, just like he left you." "No, not just like he left me. He left me before we got married. I didn't waste years of my life on him. I didn't have his child. You did." Brianna sank down onto the floor, right there in my home office. She sat with her back against the wall, her cleaning uniform stained with tears. "I know I ruined my life," she said. "I know I deserve everything that's happened to me. But I also ruined yours, and I've had to live with that every single day. Have you? Because you never reached out. You never apologized. I didn't know how. I was ashamed. And then I was angry. At Kevin, at Mama, at myself. And then I was just surviving. Trying to get through each day with a baby and no money and no one to help me. Aunt Lorraine would have helped you. Aunt Lorraine hasn't spoken to Mama in years. I didn't think she'd want anything to do with me either. I looked at my sister, really looked at her. For the first time since she walked in, she wasn't the confident, cruel woman who had stolen my fiancé. She was broken, beaten down by life. A single mother working a job that barely paid her bills. Part of me felt satisfied. This was justice. This was karma. But another part of me, a part I didn't expect, felt something else. Pity. "Did Mama ever admit she was wrong?" I asked. "Did she ever acknowledge what you did to me?" Brianna shook her head. "Mama still thinks Kevin left me because I wasn't a good enough wife. She says I should have fought harder to keep him." "Of course she does. She asks about you sometimes. She knows your business is successful. She's seen the articles about you. And, she says," Brianna hesitated, "she says you've always been selfish, that you abandoned your family because of a misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding," I laughed bitterly. "I caught you in bed with my fiancé. What's to misunderstand?" "I know. I've tried to tell her, but you know Mama. She rewrites history to make herself feel better." For the first time in 8 years, Brianna and I agreed on something. "She'll never change," I said. "No, she won't." We sat in silence for a moment, united by our shared understanding of our mother's failures. "What do you want from me, Brianna?" I finally asked. "Why are you really here? I didn't know this was your house, I swear. I believe you. But now that you're here, what do you want? Money? Forgiveness? A place to stay? She looked up at me with red-rimmed eyes. I don't deserve any of those things. No, you don't. But that's not what I asked. What do you want? She took a shaky breath. I want my sister back. I know I don't deserve it. I know I destroyed everything. But I miss you, Naomi. I miss having someone who knew me before all of this. Someone who remembers when we were kids, when things were simpler. You should have thought about that before you slept with Kevin. I know. She wiped her face with her sleeve. But I'm asking anyway. Not for me. For my daughter. She has no one. No father, barely any grandmother, no aunts or cousins. She's growing up completely alone. That's not my responsibility. You're right. It's not. She stood up slowly. I should finish cleaning. I need this job. She picked up her mop and walked toward the door. Then she paused. For what it's worth, and I know it's not worth much, I am sorry. I'm sorry for Kevin. I'm sorry for the wedding. I'm sorry for every cruel thing I said that night. I was young and stupid and jealous, and I destroyed the only person who ever really loved me. She left to finish her work, and I sat alone in my office, wrestling with emotions I hadn't expected. 8 years ago, if someone had told me this moment would come, that Brianna would be in my house, broken and apologizing, I would have fantasized about destroying her, about rubbing her face in my success, about making her suffer the way she made me suffer. But now that it was happening, I didn't feel triumphant. I felt heavy, sad, tired. Aunt Lorraine's words echoed in my head. Build something so magnificent that those two will choke on their regret. I had done that. I had built something magnificent. And Brianna was definitely choking on her regret. But what good was revenge if it didn't heal me? What good was watching her suffer if it only kept me connected to the past? I thought about Leah, my daughter. What would I want someone to teach her about forgiveness? About family? About grace? I thought about Brianna's daughter, my niece, growing up without extended family, just like Brianna said, alone, and I thought about myself, the woman I had become, the woman I wanted to continue being. I made a decision. I found Brianna in the master bathroom, scrubbing the shower. Can we talk? I asked. She looked nervous. I'm almost done. The cleaning can wait. This can't. She put down her brush and followed me to the living room. We sat on opposite ends of the couch, the same couch that cost more than she probably made in 2 months. I've been thinking, I said slowly, about what you said, about your daughter. I shouldn't have brought her up. It wasn't fair. Maybe not. But you did. And now I can't stop thinking about it. I took a deep breath. I'm not going to pretend that everything is okay between us. It's not. You did something unforgivable, and I'm not sure I'll ever fully forgive you. But, I don't want to carry this anger for the rest of my life, and I don't want an innocent child to grow up without family because of choices she didn't make. Brianna's eyes widened. What are you saying? I'm saying, I'm willing to try. Not to go back to how things were, that's impossible. But to build something new. Slowly. Carefully. But there are conditions, I continued. Non-negotiable conditions. Brianna nodded eagerly. Anything. First, you need therapy. Real therapy, with a licensed professional. You need to understand why you did what you did and make sure you never do it again. I'll pay for it. Okay. Second, we start small. Coffee once a month. Maybe our daughters can have play dates. But if I feel manipulated or disrespected in any way, I'm done. Permanently. I understand. Third, and this is the hardest one, you need to stop letting Mama enable you. She's part of the reason you turned out the way you did. Until you set boundaries with her, you'll never really change. Brianna was quiet for a moment. That won't be easy. She's all I have. No, she's not. If you do this right, you'll have me too. And Aunt Lorraine, she'd welcome you back if you genuinely apologized. You have options. but you have to choose them. She sat with that for a moment. Then she nodded. I'll do it. All of it. There's one more thing, I said. What? You're not cleaning my house anymore. Her face fell. I need this job, Naomi. I can't afford. I know. That's why I'm offering you a different one. She stared at me, confused. Crown Properties is always looking for people. I need someone to help coordinate our renovation teams, scheduling workers, ordering supplies, keeping projects on track. It's entry-level, but it pays better than cleaning. And there's room to grow if you work hard. You're offering me a job? At your company? I'm offering you a chance. Whether you take it and what you do with it is up to you. Brianna started crying again. But this time, the tears were different. Why? She asked. After everything I did to you, why would you help me? Because I'm not the same person I was 8 years ago. And I'm hoping you're not either, because holding on to anger was poisoning me, not you. And because, I paused, because I want my niece to know that her family is capable of redemption. Brianna didn't know what to say. For a long moment, she just sat there, tears streaming down her face. I don't deserve this, she finally whispered. Probably not. But I'm not doing it because you deserve it. I'm doing it because I deserve peace. And I'll never have peace if I spend the rest of my life hating you. She reached out her hand, hesitated, then pulled it back. Can I hug you? I thought about it. 8 years of pain, 8 years of anger, 8 years of building walls to protect myself. Not yet, I said honestly. But maybe someday, she nodded, accepting it. Someday is more than I ever expected. I stood up. Finish the cleaning today. Your boss is expecting it. Then call me tomorrow. We'll discuss the job offer and figure out next steps. Thank you, Naomi. Thank you so much. Don't thank me yet. You haven't started proving yourself. But as I walked away, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Lightness, like a weight had been lifted off my chest. I wasn't sure if I was making the right decision, but for the first time in 8 years, I was choosing my future instead of being controlled by my past. That night, I told Daniel everything. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he took my hand. Are you sure about this? He asked. After everything she did? No, I admitted. I'm not sure at all, but I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of carrying this weight. And I don't want Leah to grow up watching her mother hold grudges. You're not holding a grudge. You're protecting yourself. Maybe. But at some point, protection becomes a prison. I've spent 8 years locked in that prison. I want out. Daniel nodded slowly. Then I support you. Whatever happens, I've got your back. Even if she betrays me again, even then, because you'll survive it. You've already proven you can survive anything. I leaned into him, grateful beyond words for this man who had helped me learn to trust again. I love you, I whispered. I love you too. Now come on. Leah wants her bedtime story. I called Aunt Lorraine the next day and told her what happened. She was quiet for a long moment. Then she laughed. Well, she said, the Lord does work in mysterious ways. I'm not sure the Lord had anything to do with it. Maybe not, but something did, and you handled it with more grace than I would have. I'm not sure it's grace. I'm not sure what it is. It's growth, baby girl. It's choosing who you want to be instead of letting the past decide for you. She paused. I'm proud of you. You're not going to tell me I'm making a mistake? That I should have slammed the door in her face? Would that have made you happy? I thought about it. For a moment, maybe, but not in the long run. Then you made the right choice. Happiness isn't about punishing the people who hurt us. It's about building a life so full that their absence doesn't matter anymore. When did you get so wise? She laughed. Baby, I've been wise. Y'all just weren't listening. A few weeks later, I met my niece for the first time. Her name is Kendra. She's 7 years old, with big brown eyes and her mother's curly hair. She's shy and quiet and has no idea about the complicated history between her mom and her aunt. Brianna brought her to a park where Leah and I were having a picnic. It was neutral ground, easier than my house or hers. Leah and Kendra hit it off immediately. Within minutes, they were running around the playground together, laughing like they had known each other their whole lives. Brianna and I sat on a bench, watching them. "She looks like you," I said. "When we were kids." "She acts like you," Brianna replied. Serious, thoughtful, always thinking 3 steps ahead. Poor kid. We both laughed. It was awkward, but it was real. "I started therapy," Brianna said. "Like you asked." "Good. How is it?" "Brutal. She's making me look at things I've spent years avoiding." She paused. "Did you know I've been jealous of you since we were 5? That's when Mama started comparing us. Why can't you be more like Naomi? I heard that 1,000 times before I was 10. I didn't know that." "I know. You were too busy being perfect to notice." She caught herself. "Sorry, the therapy is also making me more honest than I should be." "It's okay. Honest is good. We could use more honest between us." It's been 6 months since that day Brianna showed up at my door. Things aren't perfect between us. They may never be. There are still moments when I look at her and remember what she did. Remember the cruelty. Remember the betrayal. But there are also new moments now. Moments of laughter, moments of honesty, moments of 2 sisters trying to rebuild something that was destroyed. Brianna works at Crown Properties now. She started in coordination and has since moved up to assistant project manager. She's good at it, better than I expected. She's focused, reliable, and determined to prove herself. We have dinner together once a month. Our daughters are becoming friends. Leah asks about Auntie Bree and Cousin Kendra all the time. Have I forgiven her? I don't know. Forgiveness isn't a single moment. It's a practice. Some days I feel it. Some days I don't. But I'm no longer defined by what she did to me. I'm defined by what I built after. And that's enough. If you're watching this, and you've been betrayed by someone close to you, a sibling, a friend, a partner, I want to speak directly to you. The pain you're feeling is real. The anger is justified. The desire for revenge is human. But don't let their betrayal become your identity. What they did says everything about them and nothing about you. Their choices don't determine your worth. Their cruelty doesn't define your future. You get to decide what happens next. You can spend your energy on revenge and bitterness, or you can spend it building something beautiful. You can stay stuck in the past, or you can move toward a future they can't even imagine. I'm not saying you have to forgive. Forgiveness isn't required, but freedom is possible. Freedom from the weight of carrying their sins on your shoulders. You deserve that freedom. Let me leave you with some practical advice. First, find your Aunt Lorraine. Find someone who will tell you the truth and support you while you heal. You can't do this alone, and you don't have to. Second, redirect your energy. Every moment you spend plotting revenge is a moment you could spend building your future. Choose building. Every time. Third, set boundaries without apology. You don't owe anyone access to your life. If someone has hurt you, you have every right to cut them off, permanently or temporarily. That's your choice. Fourth, therapy isn't weakness. The best investment I ever made wasn't in real estate. It was in my mental health. Find a good therapist. Do the work. And fifth, if you do choose to reconcile with someone who hurt you, do it on your terms. You're not obligated to forgive. You're not obligated to forget. Any reconciliation should happen because you want it, not because someone guilted you into it. 8 years ago, I thought my life was over. I thought the betrayal of my sister and fiancé was the end of my story. It wasn't. It was the beginning. Everything good in my life, my business, my husband, my daughter, my peace, came after that devastation. Not in spite of it, but because of it. The pain forced me to grow. The betrayal forced me to become independent. The loss forced me to build something of my own. I wouldn't wish what happened on anyone, but I also wouldn't trade who I've become. My sister tried to take everything from me. Instead, she gave me the motivation to create everything for myself. That's the irony, isn't it? The people who try to destroy us often end up making us stronger. So if you're in your destruction moment right now, hold on. What feels like an ending is actually a beginning. What feels like death is actually birth. You're about to become someone new, someone stronger, someone unstoppable. My sister stole my fiancé the night before my wedding. Now she works for my company. She didn't destroy me. She freed me. And if she hadn't done what she did, I might have married the wrong man. I might have never started my business. I might have never met Daniel or had Leah. The worst night of my life led to the best life I could imagine. So to whoever broke your heart, betrayed your trust, or tried to tear you down, thank them. In your mind, thank them, because they have no idea what they've just unleashed. You are about to become someone they could never imagine. Now, go build your empire. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I share stories like this every week, true stories of women who turned pain into power. Drop a comment below. Have you ever been betrayed by someone close to you? How did you rise above it? I read every single comment. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. And remember, your story isn't over. The best chapters are still being written. Until next time.